Is there such a thing as being too kind? I'd like to share with you an event that happened a few years ago that triggered my interest in kindness. A friend and I were driving down the highway. I was in the passenger seat, when suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, a car comes up on the right, nearly sideswipes the right fender and takes off. As we watched the car for the next 15, 20 seconds, it weaved in and out of lanes a few more times until finally the driver could speed off, leaving us all behind. Now, I feel I need to tell you that this friend of mine, who is doing the driving, is actually one of the nicest, funniest, most caring people that I know. But in that instant, she became so irate. She laid on that horn continually, and the diatribe against that driver was honestly something I didn't know she was capable of. When she was done, I suggested, meekly, not wanting a resurgence of what I had just witnessed, that perhaps the driver had to get to the hospital to see someone before they took their last breath. The look on her face, she gasped, turned towards me, and said, "Stop. You're always so kind. You're too kind." And I thought, is there such a thing as being too kind? I remembered the words from Ralph Waldo Emerson. You can never do a kindness too soon, for you never know when it will be too late. As I mentioned, this happened a few years ago, but it was this event, it was her telling me I was too kind, that triggered my interest in kindness, in its benefits, and also how leaders use and practice kindness as part of how they lead. When we are asked to think of traits or characteristics that lead to good leadership, what do we often come up with? Strength, grit, toughness. Kindness doesn't usually make that list. Why is that? Is it because kindness is associated with weakness or with softness? A kind leader is a strong leader. An intentionally kind leader is an even stronger leader. What I have found out over the last few years is what I consider an idea worth sharing. But I don't want you to just take my word that we should practice more kindness. I'd like to share with you why kindness is the way to go. Now, what I'm really focusing on is intentional, purposeful kindness. That's a little bit different than random acts of kindness. Whatever you do, don't stop doing those. Those are great. But intentional, purposeful kindness is a practice. And what I really find worth sharing is that kindness is learnable, which may be good news for some of us for whom kindness may not come all that naturally. So kindness is a practice. Kindness is something we can learn. Therefore, we can also get better at it. Now, perhaps you're wondering, why should we focus on kindness, practicing intentional kindness today, right now? Well, consider the climate in which we find ourselves. The polarization nationally and globally on every issue possible, the meanness, the anger, the lack of empathy on social media and elsewhere, complete strangers being rude, unfriendly, vicious, even cruel to each other, strangers seeking ways to hurt, belittle, degrade one another. Have you ever wondered what's wrong with that person? If they smile at you, compliment you, or show you kindness, especially for no apparent reason? Or perhaps you've caught yourself wondering, maybe even wondering out loud what someone may want from you if they show you kindness. And then be taken really aback when you realize they were showing you kindness just because? Well, it's exactly for that reason. That's the reason that warrants us to take a step back and take an intentional step forward and effort to be more kind. So, what do kind leaders do? They encourage growth. They offer encouragement. They encourage people to succeed and to achieve their full potential. What else do? They acknowledge that people want to do the best that they can do. And to bring out the best in people, kind leaders devote their own time, energy, and effort to coaching and mentoring. And they do this with intentional kindness. Kind leaders recognize that people are people, and they treat people as people, not as machines. So how do kind leaders treat people as people? They smile, they say thank you, they check in with people to see how they're doing, they celebrate others' successes. By showing kindness to others, we are letting others know that we see them, we hear them, we acknowledge them, we care about them, we trust them to do the right thing. Intentional leaders, intentional, kind leaders find room in the workplace for kindness. If I may, I'd like to just spend a moment on happiness, because after all, when it's all said and done, we'd rather be happy than not, no? Researchers at Oxford University were interested in the relationship between kindness and happiness, and they found evidence that those who were kinder to others were actually happier. And researchers at the University of Warwick found that happy people were 12% more productive than unhappy people. And more productive employees make for more effective organizations. As Susan Fiske has shown, warmth and kindness accelerate trust. Leaders who project warmth, leaders who practice kindness, are more effective than those who lead with toughness. And increased levels of trust translate into more effective organizations. A Gallup poll found that less than 50% of employees felt strongly that their employer cared about them. Less than 50%. Practicing active, habitual, intentional kindness can go a long way in changing that. Now, I know we all live and work in what seems to be constant firefighting mode with our own frustrations and our own challenges, but each and every one of us can practice kindness each and every single day. It doesn't take any special skill set. I'd like to share with you now a few ways that we can all practice kindness. Now remember, it's a practice. If it takes a few tries, that's okay. First, listen to people. Really listen to people. Don't look at your phone or worse, at your watch. Listen, engage, ask follow-up questions. Let the other know that you're not only hearing them, but you're listening to them. Encourage questions and really try to find out where people are coming from. What's their perspective? What's their angle on issues? Ask someone how they are, and actually listen to what and how they respond. Acknowledge that you know everyone is doing their best. In most cases, that is the case. People don't underperform on purpose. People don't let themselves down and others down on purpose. But we all have our challenges, accept that others have flaws, and treat them as the humans that they are. And finally, please resist the urge to react to every single little thing. Take a deep breath. Think of the situation that someone may be in before reacting. And in escalating or challenging situations, remember, the kindest word may be the unkind word not said. I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Positive experiences of kindness are experienced whether you are giving, receiving, or observing kindness. Kindness is not finite. In fact, kindness begets kindness. Kindness creates a ripple effect. And those experiencing kindness are more likely to be kind themselves. Kindness can be calming. Kindness can be healing. According to the Mayo Clinic, based on science and research, we should all set a goal to be kinder to others. Why? Because when we are kind to others, the part of our brain that allows us to feel pleasure, that allows us to be happy, is activated. Therefore, when we are kind to others, we benefit. So the next time that you're in traffic, somebody cuts you off, take a deep breath and follow the advice of Matthew Barry. Always be a little more kind than necessary. Thank you.